Welcome, everybody, to the Poetry Reading of the Arts Festival. I am so psyched to see all of you here. So thrilled to listen to these two classes read their exciting work. So let's have some snaps and some claps for our reading today. We are going to start the reading with four of my students from the advanced poetry class. The theme of that class is hybrid poetics. So bringing together kind of braided methods and ways into poetry. So I would like to hand the mic over to Tarfia Fazula.
Hello, welcome everybody to our last day of class. I don't know that our class had a theme as such. It was loosely, we looked at Texan poets. We had a number of poets who have some kind of relationship to Texas joining us via Zoom from time to time. But mostly I feel like this semester was about experimentation and play and connecting with one or more voices inside of you. So I'm excited to hear everybody read.
Okay, a round of another applause, and we will bring our first poet up. Caitlin.
Hello, hello. Caitlin, I'm starting this off very oddly considering I'm not a creative writing or literature major. I'm actually a geology major. And for those who don't know, geology is the study of rocks and the earth itself. Something I've noticed in my creative writing journey, as I do have it as a minor, I do thoroughly enjoy creative writing, is that there's not a lot that brings science into creative writing. And what I aimed to do with my hybrid work this semester was bring in geology and mix it with poetry. I have a lot of mineral specimens at my apartment, 79 of them in fact. And of those 79, I picked 4 of them to write poems on. These are written from the perspective of the rock, as if the rock itself was telling its story, as each rock has its own story to be told. Some of them stretch billions of years, some stretch only a couple thousand years. But these are the stories of the 4 rocks I chose, starting with quartz, SiO2. And the second thing that I will be adding is the chemical formula of each of the rocks. So SiO2 for quartz is silicon dioxide. That is the the elements that make up quartz. Okay. Cold limbs reach up to a sky they have never seen, yearning for warmth to touch and caress their silica and oxygen-laced arms. I yearn for a light that I have never seen, that I have never felt. My limbs, harder than glass, slice into the rocks around me. Their cold, sharp, prismatic blades shatter and claw at the veins I am trapped within. Suddenly, I feel a heat upon my cold limbs. Sunshine shines on my arms, casting rainbows within my fractured insides. The second one I will be reading is Beryl. And Beryl is more commonly known as, the variant that this is written about is much more commonly known as emerald. It is Beryl 3, aluminum 2, open parentheses, silica, oxygen 3, close parentheses, 6. And this rock has a very intense story behind it. This rock in particular that I wrote about, it was in storage for half a century maybe, and it just kept getting pulled around to different shows and no one would purchase it. It is the most gorgeous rock I own. It's stunning to look at, and just no one bought it. So thus, this poem is about what I believe this rock would have gone through over the years. Cut, sliced, polished. They call me precious. They call me a gemstone. Yet all they do is destroy my body and force me into unnatural shapes. They call me beautiful. They say I'm one of a kind. Yet they steal me from my home just so they can have me cut, sliced, polished. They don't realize my body is made of a complex mixture of elements. 3 beryllium, 2 aluminum, 6 silica, 18 oxygen, all wrapped up in a hexagonal habit. They take me from Columbia because they want me cut, sliced, polished. No one wants me as I truly am. They care not for my raw beauty. They leave me alone, speaking as if I am trash. My best and only friend is the common calcite that supports me. They brought me here half a century ago. They forced me to endure the endless darkness of storage. They jostle me uncaringly as I am carted from show to show. Yet no one gives me a second glance. They do not purchase me because they only want cut, sliced, polished. It is between these awful shows, when I am in the suffocating darkness of the storage, that I am finally given life. She gives me a purpose. Within her gaze is care. She picks me up, uncut, unsliced, unpolished. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy everyone else's poems as much as I have enjoyed my class's poems over the years, or over the semester.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Manuki Matus, and I'm another student from the Advanced Poetry Workshop. For my hybrid project, I focused in on the ways that our emotions can present ourselves in a lot of different forms rather than just what you say or exactly what you do. For me personally, all of my emotions seem to have a color, and I channel a lot of that into art and painting and such. So I tried to channel that into poetry this time. I have 2 pieces to share for you, and I hope you enjoy them. All right. Feral. Dear doctor, I will never write to. I think I'm going feral. See, there's a hunger in my veins that's driving me insane. I thought it was freedom at first. I thought that this is what it was like to live without restraint. I imagined that I could be the plush green moss that climbs up a tree, reject my bounds and grow as the moss does so freely, but I've realized something. It's not that I can't escape the bounds that I have, but that escaping them traps me just the same. Escaping the bounds prevents me from exploring the truth. The reality of how traumatic memories have made me feel, how they changed the chemistry inside of me from rosy to decay. The bounds of the black cast iron gates I clung to outside the hospital, pleading to empty blue skies to be saved. Watching a loved one wrangle the line of life and death is enough to kill you inside. It killed me inside. This anger inside of me is righteous. It does not need to forgive, but I wonder sometimes who I'd be if I did. Going feral came after that. Insanity is a coping mechanism. No one can judge the girl that they already think is crazy. Going feral was the urge to break my bedroom window and run barefoot into the forest, to trip on overgrown roots and scramble back up with wild eyes and bloody knees, to have the wind blown in my hair in a rope of tangles that still cascades behind me. I'll get down on my knees and plead for it now. I'll bleed for it, for the freedom under the dark canopies of green. I'll bleed for it, bleed for it, bleed for it, please. I am not the decay, but I'll be the moss that learns to grow from it. I'll be the moss that blossoms into a green so vibrant that death will look at me in wonder as it closes its eyes. And even if no person finds it beautiful, I will find it beautiful. I will fill my scars with the moss, and I will take the weight off my shoulders and weave a basket from the forest twigs for it. I will live with it, with me, with kindness and softness, forgiveness for myself, and for ferality when needed. So, what is going feral, really? It was a way to find me. I am everything I want to be. Thank you. And the second piece I have for you today is called Emotional Dictionary, Humanity's Obituary. I've never known what heartbreak feels like, but I imagine it's like stepping on shards of broken stained glass disguised as smooth beaded cobblestone. I've never known what love feels like, but I imagine it's like dark chocolate Easter bunnies saved in a plastic bag just for you. I've never known what pain feels like, but I imagine it's like the shadow of someone turning away from you, the sting of the salt in their tears still ringing on your hands as they leave. I've never known what joy feels like, but I imagine it's like rolling down the grassy California hills, friends trying to catch up behind you. I've never known what anger feels like, but I imagine it's like the rock-climbing harness cinching you as you fall, searing into your skin. It's not that I've never felt these emotions. I felt them to every extreme with every ounce of my being. I felt them like earthquakes, like tidal waves, like migraines, like I am not just burned, but set alight, aflame, ablaze. I have felt them not just in every cell of my body, but till every cell collapsed, till nothing was left of me but torn up scraps, blood that stained, splattered, and splat. And when I wake up most mornings, I am the archetype of insane. I am the wolf in the story and the girl in the attic. I am the witch and the poison apple and the coffin in the grave. I became so familiar with the grave, I called it my home. Used the nails in the sides to hang up photo frames. Used the dirt to wrap my broken bones. Used the moss to lay my head. Sorry. Use the moss to lay my head. The thing is, I was starved, so desperate for peace, ready to sacrifice anything for a glimpse of it. You see, I got so tired of fighting how to feel that I've forgotten what anything but numb is like. I remember the feelings, but only as stories. Only as occurrences in a reflection I don't recognize as memories. So I felt every emotion, but I've never known a single one. And I'm starting to regret that I gave up so young. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed all the performances to come.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Max, and my pronouns are he, him, and I'm going to be reading 3 poems from a collection I made for Dr. Stone's class, which is called Yearbook. And this collection, basically, I kind of drew from experiences of just 11 years of going to a small private school, 4 years of being the yearbook editor, basically creating these like colorful, fun, delightful books of joyous memories that probably didn't really happen because I don't think any of us were really having the best time. And I think what this collection, what I wanted to do with this collection was basically, instead of like running from those 11 years of my past and just feeling like I should just forget them, I should ignore that they've happened, I wanted to like reach back into the past and own it and call out some of the things that were unpleasant, but also kind of like take back the things from then that I'm proud of. Because ultimately, if I erase 11 years of the 20 years that I've been on this earth, like there's not a whole lot left. So I have to make some peace with it. So I'm going to read 3 poems from this collection, and I think I'm going to sit down for that. The first poem is called Perennial. I can start anywhere, end everywhere. It has to be the faces like heat or breathlessness, a favorite song that makes me cry. I shouldn't be listening. Spring means repeating, means small yellow buds of stifled screams. Spring means repeating. Violets and petunias, offerings of poppies like conversations, held with my stained fingernails. It doesn't matter what was said. I'm searching for the next hit. Walls are heavy to carry around. We sit heavily on walls around people who've never seen a crowd like us, impenetrable, waving rainbow flags from rain that hasn't stopped pouring. Wilted ferns, ivy dripping with crushing words. He asks me how I am, though it doesn't matter. I'm all right. I don't believe you. Returning, burning, learning, charting footsteps like new mold, but don't ask me for directions. I guess it matters. My inescapable fixations, hair still tousled all the same, smiles to melt. Exposed roots gasping for something else. Faces or solar orbit. Stare at this eclipse. Forget about potential for deaths and blooms. I can start anywhere, end everywhere. It has to be. Thank you. The second, hold on. Okay. I apologize. There we go. The second poem in this collection is called, or the second poem I'll read is called K-12. Reading was strawberry milk for me. Do I understand that kids not punching me and laughing is a gift? Almost outed myself in English class, forgetting to close the picture of some shirtless guy. My yellow wig on video. Lauren is tall but never bullied me. I want to pull her into the circle. Will only listens to guns and octopuses, which seems easier. Now lost, Miranda's sight, Catherine's freedom, people I loved. Georgia joined me in the common area with Cadillac shimmering chaos. I was called authoritarian, yet already embroidered closed, needle slipping through the gap of chewed-off chapped skin, tying me to something better. My school was a family like any other, surviving on rumors and artifice. But how did we survive at all? Copystar CS 2050 presses on desperate, whirring like a beacon of home or hell. I built a cradle of browser tabs, Sony Dream Machine model numbers like Peach Milk, Sickly Milk, Sticky Notes, a chasm. I saw hundreds of hands and 10 unknown, but I had no choice. I grabbed on. I hid my body because it always unhid. I wonder who saw. Thank you. And then the last poem I have for you is called Breather. Hope is a fake smile that will become real. Smiles are embarrassment, teeth and talons, closed lips or eyes like ice in a glass, mobile and clinking. The laughter behind the camera, warm borders and cliches, your broken-hearted tile floor hoodie dreams built into annual Life Touch fantasies. Stale as shelved pages? Sure, but I cropped and cleared your skin. I gave you the gift of fiction, exchanged humility and humiliation for an exhale. Scrap the senior quotes and trade them for a new sentiment. Some things don't have to be remembered. That's what I have. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the performances.
Hi, I'm Rachel Siegel, and I'm a psychology major. And so for this project, I really wanted to explore just the faultiness of perception, and just what's real, what's unreal, fact, fiction, things along those lines. I'm going to be sharing one poem with you today. It's called Lamb on a Hill. A harvest without fruit. Nothing could be original. He would practice sermons on the chickens and say, "Get your audience where you can. With calloused hands and elbows, let us gather. A harvest without fruit." She shows us where to sow these seeds, to plant this sweater in the earth. Shearing wool and sorting fibers. Nothing could be original. Like breaking ground for this spring, as it will be done for seasons more. I wonder how to sew the buttons on. Karma tells me to hook them through. Leave one loop open around the neck. So you mean to wear it as it's meant? The same idea found in another home, yet we still allow these sheep to roam. In my own words, paraphrasing sentiments feels like a robbery. Memories seized and plucked by the root. Nothing could be original, a harvest without fruit.
Who's next?
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going first for Professor Tarfia's class. I'm Allie Wing. I will be reading some pieces from my senior thesis, which is a chapbook called Yearning. For the chapbook, I really wanted to focus on memories and the feeling of nostalgia, whether that be good or bad. Okay, I think I'll be reading 3 poems tonight for you all, if that's okay. So the first one is called We Sat Together Catty Corner in Science Class. I imagine turning past a produce corner and running into you at the grocery store. Never a place we know, but somewhere new. A changed place to fit 2 changed people. There's a comfort in being known and anxiety in expectation. I hope nothing of you. I keep our memories in the corner of my brain, dust them off every May, and remember the last days of our kid graduation when we tied our balloons as they flew away together. I imagine going to a post office at the corner of my new town with a letter that ends with love, and I see you at the end of the street. In old yearbooks kept back in the town where we met and where we grew up, there are papers where I doodled future figures of us in the top right-hand corner. Is your favorite genre still fantasy? When it comes to you, it's fair to say that you are what you read, as I lay here and wonder if you still dog-ear the corners of your books. I'm grateful to know I'll forever have you in my corner, the little kid who accepted my paper roses on the playground and held my dreams gently in his muddy palms. It's silly, but still to this day, I want someone who will bite the crust off the corners of my sandwiches. I imagine maybe we'll meet again, and the bar will be full, and I'll ask to sit beside you in your corner booth. Until then, you're always in the edge of my eye, the corner of my rearview mirror. I hope you know that. So that one's a bit self-explanatory. It's a nice little memory, like snapshots. I wish I had a Polaroid camera. The next one is called Childland Feast, and it's a bit of a different vibe, so I hope you enjoy this one. Childland Feast. Mixed bag of languages, lemon head and friends, flavors popping in our mouths, sourly foreign, tangy tongues bouncing off the roofs, teeth peeking through pressed lips of, tones of, different homes. A welcome song, understanding without understanding, absence of true touch, sense of knowing made from perusing the local Asian grocery store for fun, cooking with friendly fire, ending up standing and staring in the cold fish section, belly up, not knowing names of tastes in our blood. First, dragged by mothers, now, find us roaming there, compelled by the bubbling tanks, mermen without a taste of home, but the feast in our eyes. And this is going to be my last poem. It makes a little more sense if you see it in print, but I actually really like reading this one out loud because it's a bit weird and funny, at least to me. I'll preface that it's about K-dramas a little. Is there a story if the main character forgets? A girl who wore Converse because the main character in a drama did will be a girl who wore Converse because she saw it in a drama until she forgets. So about a week. A girl who gives dating advice because the main character in a drama taught her all she needs to know will be a girl who gives dating advice because she saw it in a drama until her friends are all married. So most likely never. A girl who writes about romance because the main character in a drama lives it will be a girl who writes because she saw it in a drama until she doesn't exist. A girl who daydreams instead of lives because the main character in a drama will be a girl who wonders if she's remembered because of a drama until she. A girl who is because the main character will be a girl who because of a drama until. A girl who because main character will be a girl who main character be a girl. Thank you. Hope you like this excerpt.
Okay, I'm Marcus. I have 3 poems, and I guess they're all in some way love poems. Okay, the first one's called Hand Me Down. Dad brings home a pig and skins it on the driveway, blood pooling like its own continent. No flies yet, but you can feel them watching. It's night out, and I'm cupping my hands for the bird again. Just feathers clinging like baby teeth, and streams of fire ants, red and thick as another kind of blood. When I say all this, I really mean I've never held something still alive. I really mean this family's blood runs deeper than fortune lines. Look at my hands. Each crease grows expectations. Look at my hands. What I really want is to cradle each bird like a nest. Instead, there's this dead pig on the driveway. look at me, Dad, and realize how easy it is to remember. Hand me the hunting knife. Let's skin this animal like tradition. And the second poem is called Lilies. He holds my waist and says, I'll be real gentle. Says you're too small for that kind of treatment. He presses fingers against my stomach and ponds form in my skin. Turns me over and warm breath heralds tongue gliding down my shoulder blade. Another kink licked into my spine. I quiver. I'm reminded of my own crookedness, how I never forgot what it's like to touch my toes, never forgot when the snake of my spine curved out of me, landed on the doctor's notepad, all my angles laid bare like fresh lilies on the windowsill. I thought that maybe I'll vanish one day, that one day I'll grow so fierce I'm unsalvageable. All these bones, all these teeth to sharpen. Now I knock my mouth against his and am met with hands soft as moss, with breath that flowers across my face. I want to ask for something hard instead, want to ask for something calcified, like anger or fists. Please, give me your bloodiest nose and the moon of your nail as it drags down my leg. Give me something to cry about, like this moment, held until it burns. Please, I just want to feel another spine as crooked as my own. This last poem is called Knockout. Lamplight splintering, yellow over the windshield. The first time I hold a man on my tongue. The blue of night clotting around us. He says he wants something pink, so I show him the underside of my eyelids, spring unfurling, fist-like across my face. How sometimes I swell in all the wrong places. He laughs and locks the car. There are some hands you cannot forget. Each part of me peeled like his fingers from the edge of my jaw, where he held so tight I almost spit down. Because what is a moment if not remembered? I want to be left with something, like bruises or bitter tastes on my tongue. I spend hours unclenching my fists just to watch the blood flow back, and maybe this is the pink he wanted. Not the relief of sensation, but the snap of a knuckle splitting on impact. Knockout. So much color when you close your eyes.
All right, so I'm Eric Trevino, and I'm a biology major. So I've dabbled in creative writing, but this semester was kind of the first time when I went into, just solid poetry. So I hope you like my work here and that you can get something out of it. The first one is Border Town. Dirt dusts our shoes, sneakers made for a paved street. Heat that does not beam, it swells, and we swim in it. There's no green here, no blue besides faded paint on dry wood, just browns and yellows. Life that refuses to end. Cruel ignorance, deadened empathy, our neighbors. There can be no hope in this place, but it still clings. Wild things, raw and fierce and desperate for love. They'll die to feel it again, bleeding red on our front porch. Death. Death is the color of this world. A dry decay that takes and saps and drains, where dulled eyes do not see and callous hands do not feel, where everything is dying or dead and only doesn't know it yet. Hope and life and wild things that fight and gasp and heave, and then we bury them in the ground. But when we hold them, they feel so very small. And this next one is Where Old Stars Rot, Where New Buds Blossom. I've been told that every star is a grave. Then I suppose that, like a grave, new life must spring from it, that the dust must be mold, and the new stars at births like maggots. Or does the grave moss make that like hydrogen clouds? The worms like supernovas, mushrooms like protostars, and flowers like black holes. Roots draining everything beneath them till they die and new stars spring from them too. The new life birthed an endless memento mori. Thank you.
Right. Hi, I'm Megan. I am an ATech major, and I'm doing this as part of my creative writing minor. And unlike all of the wonderful people who have gone before me with great emotional impacts, my singular poem is a story about how my mom made fun of me. So this poem is titled The Only Men I Will Ever Love. He is so soft, a perfect gentleman, except when he's not, sitting prim and proper, watching me at home. His brother lazes about, sprawling and bored, sleeping the days away, ignoring me unless he wants something from me. My two favorite men, the only ones I'll ever love. My mother laughs when I tell her this. Don't say that, sweetheart. You'll have plenty of cats.
Hi, I'm Sabiel. I'm gonna read two poems and then I'm gonna see where I am on time. I haven't timed myself reading these, so I have no idea how long it'll be. I don't know if I should sit. I'll sit, yeah. These are both love poems. I swear I don't only write love poems. It's just that these were the ones I wanted to read. It kind of worked out like that. So this first one is called A Response to William Carlos Williams. It's written in response to this famous really short poem about plums. You can Google plum poem and it'll come up, whatever. My lover eats plums in ways that make my mouth pucker and my teeth hurt. Straight out of the fridge, impatiently devouring them over the sink, sticky juice dripping down her elbows. There's no beauty, no brevity, only the visceral sound of sharp teeth sinking into sour skin, giving way to sweet flesh below. Holding it between her fingers, she bites as close to the heart as allowed, leaving only the feeblest scraps of meat clinging to the seed. In the end, she washes away the carnage and tosses out the pit, dries her hand of the matter on the ratty kitchen towel hanging from the cabinet door. And then carefully, tenderly, she will set one out for me. Okay, thanks. This next one is titled "Why I Don't Go to Church Anymore." It's not a bummer, I swear. Why I don't go to church anymore. Because there's no call to worship but the one I hum under my breath as we fumble around the kitchen, half asleep, trying to brew ourselves awake. Because there's no plate being passed, but she still offers to make me breakfast. Because I hate driving, and if I wanted to take the bus, I'd have to leave half an hour sooner. Because when I read verses out loud, she always listens, even though she's not a poetry person. Because I think I see enough of God in every person I meet on the street. Because I once asked if I could call her angel, and she said no. Because I don't think my dad was being literal when he said that there's a special place in hell for people who skip morning service. And anyway, I'm not sure I believe in hell. because I told her my love for her was unconditional, and she replied, well, you should probably have some conditions. But mostly because I wanted to wake up on Sunday mornings slowly together. Okay, so I have a lot of time left, so I'm going to read a long one now. So this one's called 2023 Texas Legislative Session Blues. My initial feedback on this poem that I got was, your title's too vague, so I made it really specific. So this is how I feel during the 2023 or I felt, I guess it's ongoing. Texas legislative session, real stressful if you follow it. I don't recommend it. The world is ending and it's Thursday evening. I set my phone face down on the counter and focus on making dinner. Try to blink back the tears as I chop onions. Not sure what I'm doing yet. Maybe a soup? I wipe my eyes with my sleeve, but it doesn't help much. The world is ending, and I've got a pot of water going on the stove. We're making curry. You grumble about politics while peeling the carrots. Those folks in Austin can't ever just mind their damn business, huh? I nod along while checking the rice cooker. The world is ending, and I can't be bothered to peel all these potatoes. You tell me it's okay, just scrub the dirt off. More nutrients that way. Last week, a stranger came up to me and told me I was going to hell, but he was praying for me. I wonder if he's heard the news, if he's happy that the world is ending and we're counting down the days till we can get out of state. I scroll through Zillow while we wait on the food. You ooh and ah at built-in bookshelves we'll never afford. Neither of us really want to move, but the world is ending. Does anyone know where the ladle is? I keep meaning to buy another. My mom gave me this one when I moved out. Neither of us talk to our parents much these days. I wonder if my folks even care that the world is ending and we're settling down in front of the TV to eat because we're adults and we can do whatever the fuck we want. We split a soda because you know I can't finish a whole can by myself. The curry would be better with kimchi, but we're out because I never got around to going to H Mart like I said I would last week. And now the world is ending. The world is ending. It's pretty good anyway. That's my girlfriend. Anyway.
Hi, my name is Kanoya. I'm going to read 2 poems from the poetry collection I'm coming up with. The collection itself is called Melted Rain, and it's about cycles of depression and loneliness. So the first poem I have here is called Nightmares. The darkness spills as the knife called the sun slides down the surface of the heavens. The clock dings, its clicking replaced by whispers, its monotony replaced by dust. Midnight, the love of all poets, the heart of all religions. It is the mascot of silence. For me, it is a signal. It resembles praise. It is my time of waking. As my eyes are peeled back and my feet flee the covers, the monsters creep away. Midnight is the time of angels, a blessing in darkness is. The second one is Russian roulette. A gun to the head, a knife to the stomach, a pool to be drowned in, a club to be swung, a prayer to be answered, the tune of a song. The preacher in the church needs a devil to build a god. What is peace? How could you appreciate my graciousness if you know not of my cruelty? I beckon you, let's play. Pull the trigger, shoot the gun. Now praise me, your life isn't done. And I think I'm the last person. Yeah, okay. Do I give this to someone?
Thank you, everyone. An applause, a big round of applause for this whole room. You guys are beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was really lovely. Thank you.